Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video, I'll be creating an Imperial Guard kill team using the Compendium rules. I thought it'd be fun to put together a new kill team using some of my favourite models from my Imperial Guard Warhammer 40k army. So I've grabbed the Compendium and I'll be using the rules from there to put together a team. And so in this video, I'll go through every step of putting that team together using the rules in the book and just talking about some of the choices I've made. So if you've been following along on the channel, you may have seen my 5,000 or 6,000 point Imperial Guard army and the progress I've made so far. I've still got a little bit of work to do on it, and I'll be catching up with that near the end of the year when we get some more releases and hopefully the codex. But in the meantime, I thought it'd be great to use some of the models for a kill team, and also I'm working on a kill team board using some of the terrain I've got. I've got quite a lot of Kachans to finish painting up, including Gaunt's Ghosts as well. I want to get those done, but I'm going to focus on the Cadians here. But I'm thinking for the kill team board, I'll use some of the tanks as terrain. I think that'll be really cool. So I'll be taking a selection of the vehicles and using those. I've also made some huts out of cardboard, nice and easy to do. I've got some trees that I've painted up as well. I think they'll be really nice on the board around the outskirts. And I've got some awesome terrain from March of War that I featured on a video a couple of weeks ago. And I'm going to be doing another video for that real soon where I get all this painted up ready for battle. Altogether, these barricades and the buildings and bunkers and then the vehicles will make for a really interesting and dense board, I think. I've also got some Warcry scenery that I'm in the middle of painting. I'll be doing a video of that very soon. And then I've got the Morok terrain as well. So there's quite a lot going on here and lots of options for a nice jungle base. Before we get started and go through the book and put the models together, I'd like to say a big thanks to my sponsor Firestorm Games, and it'd be awesome if you checked out their website where you can save up to 20% on all your hobby products. I'll put a link in the description down below, and if you follow that link, you can make your savings. So big thanks to them, and a big thanks to you for checking them out too. Okay, let's grab the book and we'll open it up and have a look at all the rules for the Imperial Guard. I'm not going to do a deep dive on the rules, just really the process on how to put it together. And some of the rules I'll go through, like showing how many models and different operatives we can include in our army. So on page 36 onwards, you're going to find the Imperial Guard kill team rules. Now, I've been playing with my Intercession Squad kill team with only 6 models, but this is going to be completely different because here we can have 2 fire teams that make up the kill team, and each one of the Guardsman fire teams has 7 models. So I'm going to be fielding 14 models here, which is a big difference. Now, I'm not going to use the Tempestus Scions, so that's 4 of the data cards we can just forget about right away. So there's going to be 4 for the Guardsman though, so we'll be going through those in a little bit of detail. Then we've got the strategic ploys and tactical ploys, and then the equipment. And that's it. There's not an awful lot we need to go through. And I think that's what makes the Compendium kill teams great if you want to start playing, and certainly if you want to have some simple rules to follow. The first thing I've got to do is look through the Imperial Guard kill team rules for the fire team. So it tells us that a kill team will consist of 2 fire teams, and you can choose between Guardsmen and Tempestus Scions. So you could have 2 Guardsmen, 2 Tempestus Scions, or 1 of each. I'm going to go with 2 Guardsman fire teams. And so here we've got the rules we need for it. So it just simply says a Guardsman fire team includes 7 Guardsman operatives selected from the following list. And you've got the Trooper, the Comms, and then you've got 5 Gunners, and the Gunners are all equipped with a different weapon. You've also got a leader, which is going to be a Guardsman Sergeant. And if you've got a fire team or 2 fire teams and you don't have a leader designated, you can choose one of the Guardsman Troopers, take that out and replace it with a Guardsman Sergeant, and then that will be your leader. And you only do that once, so you only do that for one of the fire teams. There are some limitations to how many of each operative you can take in each fire team. So in one fire team, other than the Guardsman Trooper, each Guardsman fire team can only include up to 3 of the operatives that are listed. And so we can only take 1 comms, 1 gunner with flamer, 1 gunner with sniper rifle, for example. Now that limit of 3 doesn't include the Guardsman Trooper, and it doesn't include the Guardsman Sergeant either. So the good thing about that is you could, if you wanted to, with 2 fire teams, you could take the Guardsman comms and then all 5 gunners, as long as you split it up, placing 3 in one fire team and 3 in the other fire team. You've got some options with your sergeant. You can choose to give him the bolt pistol, las pistol or plasma pistol, and then choose between a chainsword or power weapon. So let's have a look at the sergeant's data card first. The way I'm going about this is I'm looking at the options first and then looking at each data card and choosing the weapons I want to use, because I want to go WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get on the models I'm choosing. And luckily in my Cadian force I've gone for all the different weapon options possible in the build, so that's perfect because now I can pick and choose which models to use in this kill team. So for the sergeant I can make sure I can use the plasma pistol, which I know one of my sergeants has, and then I can give him a power weapon, and he's got the fist, so I want him to have that fist. Although it doesn't say fist on here, I can include it as a power weapon, so that's really cool. I can play him right away as he looks. The guardsman troopers are dead easy. There's hardly anything to worry about here. No abilities, no unique actions. They've got lasgun, they got bayonet. It's as simple as that. No special rules or critical hit rules either. There's only one thing that they've got that I haven't played yet, and that's the GA, the group activation. So I'll be using that group activation with the Imperial Guard. I'm looking forward to trying that out. If you haven't played before, that simply means that when it's your turn to activate an operative, rather than just activating one, you'll activate two. So you'll activate one, go through all their actions first, and then go through all the actions of the second one. So that's really neat, and it makes up for just a lot weaker operatives like we've got with the Imperial Guard, and so they've got fewer wounds, they can do less damage, things like that. Whereas if you're going up against something like an intercessor, they're a lot stronger, they can shoot twice, they've got a lot more APL and things like that. Next up is the Guardsman Comms, so I can take one of these. I'm only allowed to take one in the entire kill team, so he's going to go in one of the two fire teams. Now the lasgun bayonet is great, the group activation is just one, so he's going to be activated on his own, but he does have some abilities that are really useful. Relay orders, and we're going to look at orders in a second, and so he can basically make sure those operatives across the kill zone are going to be issued with the order rather than just being limited by the range of the order. He can also use Signal for one action point, then select a friendly guardsman operative within red visible to him, and then add one to their APL to give them a little bit extra things to do. Maybe you want to like move, dash, and then do an action, then they'll be able to do that because they'll have 3 APL instead of 2. Because of his ability to relay those orders, I'll be wanting to keep him back and well protected. So being able to pass on those APLs to other operatives, I think is going to be really useful on the battlefield. Now we've got the fourth and final data card, and this is for the Guardsman Gunner. So you can give the Guardsman Gunner any of these weapons: the Flamer, Grenade Launcher, Melter Gun, Plasma Gun, Sniper Rifle, and then they're all going to get the Bayonet. So again, you could choose one of each of these 5 weapons and then split them up between the 2 fire teams. But I'm going to leave out the plasma gun, I think, because I like the idea of having things a bit more even where the troopers are concerned. It's certainly for that group activation. I'll show you that in a little while. But there's lots of different rules now. No abilities or unique actions, but you can see we've got a lot of special rules and critical hit rules to consider. One thing I like about this is that all these different weapons are only on one data card, so I'm not going to be flicking back and forth the book when I'm playing my team. So even though I'll have 5 different models, potentially each with a different weapon, all their stats are on one card, and I like that. I like the fact that I can just go onto pretty much just 2 pages and get all my troopers' information and stats there. So not going through lots of different pages, not trying to find them. It's going to be quick and easy when playing the game, so I really like that. Now I've gone through and I've had a look at the different choices for the operatives, it's time to have a look at the strategic and tactical ploys. If you play Warhammer 40,000 with the Imperial Guard, then you may be familiar with the names: take aim, take cover, fix bayonets, move, move, move. And so that's going to be quite similar, but they're different rules entirely, but they're going to be giving the same kind of effect. So really easy to get the hang of these, I think, certainly if you play them in 40k. And it plays into the idea that the sergeant is giving the orders. So operatives within red and visible to the sergeant are given the order that you choose. And you choose it at the beginning of each turning point in the correct phase. So if you issue the take aim order, for example, as your strategic ploy, it's going to cost you 1 command point. And then your guardsman will issue that to every operative within red and visible to them. So you want to be keeping your sergeant and your comms within red of each other, so that comms then use their ability to relay that order to everyone on the battlefield. We won't need to use the Special Forces Strategic Ploy because that's only for the Tempestus Scion, so we don't have to worry about that. But as we move up to the Tactical Ploys, there's only one to consider, and that's called Bring It Down. Tactical Ploys are different to Strategic Ploys because you can play them anytime during the game when it says to do so in the tactical ploy itself. And it says to use this tactical ploy after a friendly Imperial Guard operative makes a shooting attack, and until the end of the turning point, each time another friendly Imperial Guard operative makes a shooting attack against the target of that shooting attack, in the roll attack dice step of that subsequent shooting attack, you can reroll any or all of your attack dice. So that's pretty good. If you want to take out one key player on the battlefield, you could target them and then use that early on in the round or turning point, and then all the rest of your operatives can shoot them if possible and really take some serious damage on. So that's pretty good. So that's going to be one I think you'd use a lot because you don't have much choice because you've only really got that one and the reroll anyway. That just leaves us with equipment, and so nice and easy, even in the first few games and you're not playing narrative campaigns, you're not even going to need the equipment, but if you do want to use it, there's some there and not too much to have to learn. So I think you play a few games first, or I certainly will be, without the equipment, and then once I start a campaign with these, I can start including the equipment in there and layering up those rules. So now I've gone through all the different operatives I can include in each fire team. I can have 2 fire teams. I've gone through the data cards. Then I've looked at the strategic and tactical ploys and thought about how I might be playing the game tactically. Then it's time to have a look at the models and then choose the ones I want to use for the 2 different fire teams. I really like that the gunner has the different weapon options on one data card, so I am going to choose quite a few from there. I'm going to have a good amount of special weapons in there, and that's going to make it really interesting and give me some different ways to play during the game. Using all that information, I've now selected 2 fire teams that make up the kill team. So let's have a look at them and which ones I've chosen. First up, I went for 4 Guardsmen Troopers in Kill Team 1. So I like the idea, because of the group activation 2, that I'm getting even numbers for my Guardsmen Troopers. I think that's going to work nicely. Then I've chose one of my favourite models, the Sniper. Then I've got the Grenade Launcher. And then finally, I've got the Comms. So that's going to be my first one. In Fire Team 2, I've gone for the same thing, 4 Guardsmen Troopers, but now I'm mixing up those special weapons from the Gunner. So I'm going to have my Flamethrower, and then I'm also going to have the Melter Gun, and then finally the Sergeant with Power Fist and Plasma Pistol. The way the rules are written, I could include the Plasma Gun in place of one of the Troopers, and it might be a smart move, but again, I wouldn't have that double up of the group activation, and I really like that, so I want to have 2 there. And also it's going to be a little bit easier to get started with, and it fits nicely, and I think it will run smoothly when I play. So here's Fire Team 1 with my Sergeant, Melter and Flamer, and then that's going to include 4 Troopers. And then for Fire Team 2, we've got Comms, Sniper, Grenade Launcher, and again 4 more of the regular Troopers. I can't wait to try out this kill team. I think it's going to be brilliant fun. It's certainly not going to be overpowered in any way, and it's going to be no match for some of the newer kill teams for sure, but I'm sure it's going to be great to play it, and a brilliant way to get some of your favourite models off the shelf and put them together using the basic rules from the Compendium, which I think is an awesome idea if you're getting started. Keep it simple, learn the rules nice and easily without having to worry about too many operatives with lots of different abilities and unique actions. I'd love to hear what your favourite Compendium kill team is, and also what would you change in this list? Would you add anything? Would you swap anything? Let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you think. I hope you've enjoyed the video and it's given you a little insight into how to put together a Compendium kill team if you haven't done so already. And again, if you're starting off playing new, this could be a good way to go. But check out my other video where I go through 7 top tips for new kill team players, and these really help me to get going with the game. Hopefully they're going to help you too. So thanks so much for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the like button, subscribe for more videos like this one, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'd like to say a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters who make these daily videos possible, and if you're interested in joining the community, it'd be awesome to see you there, and I'll put a link for that in the description down below.